Animals that requested help from people. Life's strong, biologically driven sense of individual preservation, common to all species, gives way under extreme circumstances. As a last resort, we overcome our fear and ask for help when there is no other option left. Dogs depend on us for friendship, food, and shelter. But wild animals run away from people. They don't turn to humans for help in getting out of trouble. Normally, wild animals will hide and lash out at humans trying to help them. But recently, a lot of videos have been going viral on the internet about animals asking or requesting help from humans. You heard that right. It may sound a bit Dr. Doolittle, but it turns out that some animals do ask humans for help.
What happened, Doc?
I think he's gone into arrest.
What?
I don't feel a pulse.
Oh my God, he's a gunner! He's a gunner!
He's not breathing.
He's not breathing!
Come on. We're gonna have to give him CPR. You know how to do CPR?
CPR? I can't even spell it!
Here are some of the heartwarming videos of those animals seeking refuge from humans. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons first and ring the notification bell before your heart melts away. This is Best of Tens. Enjoy! The Thirsty Armadillo. On one particularly hot afternoon in Brazil, a man was driving down a rural road when he noticed a little armadillo standing in the middle of the street. The man, Cledson Matias de Oliveira, thought it seemed like the little fella was flagging his car down. Without a second thought, he pulled up his car to find out whether the tiny armored animal needed help. Cledson said the armadillo stood as if he were asking for something. I believe he was asking for help. I immediately stopped the car without thinking twice. As the day was a very hot one and the air was full of smoke due to the wildfires occurring in the region, Cledson was right to assume that the armadillo was thirsty. So, he moved the animal away from the road, got some water from his car, and offered it to the adorable armored creature. He drank the water with great desire, Cledson told the media. He was really happy that I stopped. I could feel it at the moment, he continued. After quenching his thirst, the armadillo didn't leave Cledson's side for a while. The man believes it was the animal's way of saying thank you and showing his trust. Sloth crossing the road. A very slow sloth attempts to cross a busy intersection as cars whiz by. Thankfully, a hero stepped up to save the wild animal. In the footage, in Costa Rica, as a three-toed sloth tries to cross the road. As onlookers watch the critter, one brave man decides to stop traffic and make sure the sloth is taken to safety. He slowly approaches the sloth, carefully grabs his back fur, and carries him to the other side of the road. Phew, that was a close call. If it were not for that man, this sloth may have been roadkill. Once the animal is on the other side, the man makes sure the sloth is okay before hopping back on his bike and riding away. Looks like this sloth wanted to cross the road to climb a tree and eat some leaves. This hero deserves a medal. How awesome! Cops brave the subway to rescue kitten. A kitten was saved from the Manhattan subway track during the busy rush hour. The cat, George, was startled by the noise of the train and broke free from his human companion and ran onto the tracks. Luckily, riders got the E-train to stop before hitting the cat, allowing police officers Brian Kinney and Gus Vargas to climb onto the tracks and rescue the cat, who was very close to the dangerous, electrified third rail. Thanks to their brave efforts, the cat was then returned to his companion unscathed. The officers said the cat looked at them when he was safe, and they felt like George hugged them in thanks for the rescue. Mother cow asking a man to help her newborn calf. On one beautiful sunny day in Millbrook, Ontario, a man passed by a farm and decided to take some photos of the cattle in the green meadows. The place seemed perfect for cows, as it also had a big pond where they could quench their thirst or cool down on a hot afternoon. However, when the man named Dave came closer to one of the cows. He realized something wasn't right. The cow looked directly at the man as she scratched the ground with her hoof. Her gaze went from looking at the man to looking back at the fence. The man was perplexed, and it took him a while to realize that the cow was actually asking for help. The cow paced back and forth and mooed at Dave. It was apparent that she was doing everything she could to grab the man's attention. Dave finally noticed what Flo was beckoning to. He saw a newborn calf stuck on the other side of the fence. The baby still had its umbilical cord attached and looked dry. Dave knew he had to get the calf across to the other side of the fence, but was nervous that Flo might hurt him if he touched her newborn. He still took a course of action and started pushing the calf through the fence. To his surprise, Flo the cow was remarkably calm and didn't let out a single moo. It was as if she understood perfectly that the man was trying to help, even though the fence was powered with electricity. Luckily, it was on the lowest setting. It did shock the man and the calf a couple of times in the process, but neither was hurt. Flo was finally reunited with her handsome pink-nosed calf. Saving the great white shark? Most people are terrified of sharks, especially great white sharks. But this story turns that stereotype around. In the peak of the summer season, a great white shark washed onto a beach in Massachusetts. People immediately went to the shark and started trying to help by throwing water on the animal, even cheering as it became clear the shark was still alive. Eventually, they tied a rope onto the shark's tail and used a boat to get the shark back into the water. Unfortunately, the shark stayed near the shore and wasn't breathing. The rescuers, including professional researchers, took the shark to open water. The shark eventually revived and showed how people are changing the way they look at sharks. Dolphin's fin snared in fishing line. A group of marine photographers near Kona, Hawaii, got an unexpected visit from a distressed dolphin in January 2013. The marine mammal circled several times, eventually swimming up to one of them and putting its left side in their spotlights. Its fin was painfully entangled in fishing wire and pierced by a metal hook. The dolphin waited patiently while diver Keller Laros cut away the wire, digging painfully into the animal's flesh. Unfortunately, the divers weren't able to clip off the metal hook before the dolphin swam away, but they say they were happy enough to have restored most of that fin's range of motion. Whale wrapped in fishing line in plastic. Two teenagers near Sydney, Australia will never forget the morning of August when a distressed southern right whale surfaced nearby. A twisted mass of fishing lines and plastic garbage was holding fast to the top of its mouth. The huge mammal bobbled up and down in the water several times near the boat. Eventually, it got close enough that one of the teens was able to reach out and snatch the pile of trash off the animal's face. The presumably appreciative whale slapped its tail against the water several times before departing back to sea. Whale shark tangled in a rope. Joe Skiberas and some friends were fishing near Sydney, Australia in March of 2003 when a whale shark swam up to their boat and waited. Curious, Joe jumped in the water and saw the desperate fish had a rope lashed tightly around its body. Amazingly, when Joe approached to cut the rope, the shark floated patiently for some 20 minutes while he straddled its back and removed the cord. The job done, the huge fish swam peacefully away. Man performs CPR on a dog. A heartwarming video is currently going viral where a man was recorded performing cardiopulmonary resuscitation or CPR on a dog to save its life. This incident happened outside a park in Los Angeles, California, when a stranger passing by came forward to save the life of a dog who had collapsed on the road. In the video, The stranger, who has been identified as Jay, can be seen pressing the chest of a 9-year-old boxer named Stone, who lay still on a sidewalk. The clip that has been recorded by an onlooker captures the moment where the dog wasn't breathing. Jay, who is performing CPR, is seen trying his best to resuscitate it. After performing CPR on the boxer, Jay also gives mouth-to-mouth breathing. A few minutes later, the dog finally wriggles a bit and starts breathing slowly. As soon as the canine regained consciousness, everyone around the dog and Jay were happy and gave out a loud cheer. These small acts of kindness may only save a few animals, but they show hope of a shifting attitude towards all animals. Hopefully, more and more of these heartwarming stories will make the news. Do these stories give you hope for the future? Have you seen any other stories like these? Share them in the comment section below. And don't forget to share the love by sharing this video too. Thanks for watching, and see you again in our next video here on Best of Tens.